Welcome back. We are once again taking your tax questions. We have Stephen Mullaby joining us again back here in studio taking your questions. So let's jump right in, Stephen, and take a look at the next question we have from a viewer. We've been getting some really great questions from you at home. This one comes from a viewer saying, first-time small business owner and first year doing taxes. Apparently, I was supposed to make quarterly estimated tax payments and just realized I didn't. Will I be penalized for missing the payments even if I pay everything I owe now?
So there is a small penalty that may apply in this particular case. It's the underpayment penalty. So that'll be calculated on the tax return when they actually file. So there is potentially a penalty and maybe a little bit of interest when the payments should have been made throughout the year. But as long as they get it filed and everything, they'll at least know what the penalty is.
A lot of specific situations, a lot of nuances, but let's head on over to the next question. Can I deduct my medical expenses? I had to go to the doctors a few times last year.
And again, we're going to go with our favorite answer as an accountant. It depends. So when it comes to medical deductions, there's a couple different barriers you have to get over. It's going to be once you exceed 7% of your adjusted gross income, then there's a potential it's deductible. And then after that, it also have to itemize on your tax return. So most advice I give to my clients, be sure to bring everything into your tax preparer, and then they'll make them have the calculated out for you, because they're probably going to be able to get you the deduction if it is available.
You have a tough job. All right, let's take a look at the next question we have for you. Should I still file if I can't pay what I owe?
Definitely. So there's two different types of penalties that the IRS imposes. There's a failure to file penalty, which is 5% of the amount of tax that's due, versus the failure to pay penalty, which is 0.5% of the amount that's due on the day of tax day. So it's always better to file than to not file at all.
Okay, and one last question I have for you. We keep saying you can file for an extension. How hard is that process?
It's actually very, very easy. If you want to do it via snail mail, you can just download the form 4868 on the IRS website, fill in your information, mail it in. As long as it's postmarked by today, your extension's good until October 16th this year.
Okay, pro tip. All right, thank you, Stephen. We'll check back in with Stephen coming up in our next half hour. In the meantime, text in your questions, 509-448-2000. You can also text the word tax to that same phone number, and we will send a resource guide right to your phone.